Okay, let's go forward and hopefully we get something a little more uplifting. Let's go ahead and do the bird oracle, the children's bird oracle, and let's see what the topic is this morning. Let's grab a topic, do a reading on a topic. Okay, so the topic is grace. About grace. Okay. So I think for this, finding out about grace, we're going to use the She Tarot. And I'm going to use the regular Lenormand, the Lenormand deck here. And let's just see what it's going to say about grace. What is the message about grace today? Grace. Okay, so the first thing out is anchored. What's being anchored in? When it comes to grace, compassion. Having compassion. So the first thing when it comes to grace is compassion being anchored in. Loyalty, friendship, loyalty. And deception. Okay, the wolf in sheep's clothing. So understanding, looking at those who are deceptive, appear to be friends, but you find out that they are deceptive about the ring, a union, a coming together, and coming, got the wrong card here, arrogance. Okay, arrogance. So this is a unequal yoke happening. Okay, somebody that's deceptive, arrogant, that you are in some sort of an alliance with. The challenge is the health that needs to be coming to balance. Okay, there needs to be a balancing. Now, you can be anchored in compassion and think that, oh, this is somebody I have an alliance with, and though they're deceptive and arrogant, I can have compassion and help them. But sometimes that's not the case. Grace. We have the difficulty, the obstruction, the mountain. Outcome is the mountain, the obstruction, and intuition. When it comes to these obstructions, having an intuition about what to do. Outside influence is the message. And let's see what the message is, and we will put this all together. refreshing. Okay, so maybe this is something you need to hear. You know, you want to be compassionate, anchor in compassion, but you need to remain your health in balance, okay? Have an intuition about the things that are going on. When it comes to grace, grace is always available if you open yourself up to it. But those that are in deception, okay, deceptive friends, arrogant, want to rule over these things, you know, and again, sometimes you want to have compassion. You need to refresh things when it comes to your message. You can give them, like I said, you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make him drink. You can offer up things, but they may never hear you. You can't change them, okay? And sometimes the greatest compassion is when somebody falls and falls really hard. You can't be an enabler for somebody that's deceptive and arrogant, that wants to rule the roost. You can't enable those persons, okay? Now, this is kind of like the same thing that I just went through with the guy that stole my checks, wrote himself a check, and then wanted to come out with this. You know, he needs to fall and fall hard. Now, there's one writing that I had done that there were two guys. One was wealthy, and he lost everything he had. And through that fall, he started looking for, you know, to change his life. So there was that grace in that. He wanted to change his life. Now, there was another one that was very poor. He won a lottery, gained a lot of money, then he became arrogant, and he fell. So which one really had the best of luck? Okay. Now, like I said, grace is always available, but you have to be open to the light, open to that. And again, we want to anchor in compassion and give what we can give. But sometimes the best compassion is the hard, how do I want to say it? The hard truth, okay? The hard truth, the difficult truth of not supporting that arrogance and that drama, okay? Sometimes you need to, again, stay in balance. Stay in balance. So yes, grace is always available, but you have to open yourself up to it. Those that are deceptive and arrogant and want to try to have rulership over somebody else, okay, they are cutting their own throats. And you've got to sometimes let them fall. Sometimes they have to fall very, very hard and hit rock bottom. And then they start looking for the light. They start changing their ways. So even though you want to have, you know, give grace and have compassion and everything, you know, it's like that, the hard love, the tough love. Tough love. You can have a child that wants to go and play and run out in the street, and you say, no, you can't go run out in the street, and they may think you're a horrible person, but you want to keep them safe. You do what you can to give people the best, but what they do with it, they do with it, okay? So again, grace is always available if you open yourself up to that. And compassion, you want to anchor in compassion, but you don't want to enable, okay? It's not compassionate when you continue to enable somebody to commit crimes, okay? That's not compassion. Understand the difference between compassion and enabling. So on that note, I'll leave that here. We'll see you online.